So today we are talking livestock and fire safety. It's something that you hope you never have to deal with, but it's really important to have a plan in case you do. So what exactly can producers do to help prepare themselves in advance?
Of course, every producer has a great water source or tries their very best to have a great water source for any of their livestock that are on the farm. So that's, of course, very key. The thing about wildfires and things that may encroach, you look at what just happened in BC, and I did see a news story about a farmer there who was very concerned about his cattle, as was the government. They said the government phoned him to say, get your cattle out of there, right? So, if you have the ability to have some corralling areas where you are and the ability to quickly load, if you had to load to get them out of the way, that's going to be very key. Of course, you can't always have that option, right? In some very large pastures, they don't have penning facilities and ways. They just move without hauling them. So it can become an issue. The biggest thing for this is it's very, very difficult to prevent a wildfire from coming into your livestock area. The small things you can do is have that water source nearby. You can also make sure that your vegetation is being kept properly. So the thick bush areas and things around there, if you can thin that out, and making sure that that stuff is well kept. The cattle or the horses, of course, graze the land and keep that stuff down. But watching those edge areas is going to be very close for you. But what most people don't think about when it comes to this is the stress that this type of event can put on the actual livestock. That's going to be your biggest thing, right? You want to limit those strenuous activities for your livestock should you have to move them, right? Running them as hard as you can to get them out of the way is actually a pretty tough thing to do. It may have to happen in an emergency, but you're going to want to be cognizant of the fact that if the smoke is bothering you, it's bothering your livestock as well, right? So it can be very, very, very tough on them, right? So you want to limit that exposure as best you can. There is no perfect way to do this, but keeping them there and keeping them safe is obviously key to any producer. So we want to make sure we can do the best we can with that kind of thing.
If someone sees fire or smoke and it looks like it's approaching their herd, what's the first step that they should take?
For sure. I mean, you want to make sure to get them into the safest area possible as quickly and as safely as possible. The other thing is ask for help. You know what? We see it all the time when there's fires in our area, not necessarily pertaining to livestock, but anything like that. I know a lot of people in our particular district have a community group chat. And when something's going on, they alert their friends, they alert their neighbors, asking for help and getting them done that way to move them as safely and as less stressful as possible is going to be your biggest way to keep your livestock safe. Like I said, there's no perfect way to say, if you do this, your livestock will be safe from a wildfire. It's just not the case. It's how you handle them and how you work with them to make sure that they're as healthy and protected as you possibly can.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me and chatting about this. Hopefully it'll help some people stay safe.
Yes, I hope we never have to deal with that situation, or hope nobody ever has to deal with that situation. It's unimaginable, but we do see it happening.